All right, let's get right into it. When I say Area 51, what's the first thing that pops into your head? UFOs, right? Aliens? Secret autopsies? The whole shebang. But tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on what was, for a very long time, America's most secret spot on the map. We're going to go past the folklore and uncover the declassified truth. A story of spies, unbelievable technology, and a reality that, honestly, might just be even more mind-blowing than the fiction. But before we land in the Nevada desert, let me ask you this. What if I told you there are places on our planet, right now, that are completely off limits? I mean, places you are legally, physically forbidden from ever going to. Take this place, for example. It's off the coast of Brazil, and they call it Snake Island. And yes, the name is very literal. The Brazilian government has completely banned anyone from visiting. Why? Because it's literally swarming with over 4,000 of one of the deadliest snakes in the world. So the secrecy there, it's pretty straightforward. It's to keep you from getting bitten. It's for your own safety. Or how about this one? Buried deep inside a frozen mountain in Norway is the global seed vault. Think of it like the ultimate insurance policy for all of humanity's food. It's a backup of every plant seed you can imagine, built to survive, well, pretty much anything. Access is incredibly restricted, not because of some dark conspiracy, but to protect something absolutely priceless for all of us. And then you have North Sentinel Island. It is strictly illegal to even go within 3 miles of its coast. The reason is simple, and it's vital. It's to protect one of the last uncontacted peoples on Earth, a tribe that has chosen to remain completely isolated for centuries and is incredibly vulnerable to modern diseases. Here, secrecy is a shield for an entire culture. So, Snake Islands, Doomsday Vaults, protected tribes, all incredibly fascinating, right? But none of them, and I mean none, hold a candle to the most famous, the most mythologized, the most ultimate forbidden place of them all, Area 51. And when they say forbidden, they are not kidding. This isn't a suggestion, folks. The signs posted around the perimeter of the space are no joke. For decades, the area has been patrolled by shadowy guards and unmarked vehicles with the authority to use deadly force. That level of security just screams one question: what on earth are they hiding in there? You know, the craziest part is that for most of its life, the US government wouldn't even admit this place existed. Officially, its name is Homey Airport, a remote part of Edwards Air Force Base. It was set up way back in 1955, but it wasn't until 2013, thanks to a Freedom of Information Act request, that the CIA was finally forced to declassify documents and officially acknowledge, okay, yes, it's real. And those declassified documents? Well, they spilled the beans on the real reason for all the armed guards and the decades of no comment. And guess what? It wasn't aliens. It was the place where they built and flew the most advanced, most secret aircraft on the planet. So this timeline right here, this is our treasure map. Area 51 wasn't about just one secret project. It was the cradle of innovation for generations of spy planes and secret fighters, each one shattering what people thought was possible. So let's kick things off right at the beginning, in 1955. It all started with this incredible machine, the U-2 spy plane. Now you gotta remember, back in the 50s, passenger planes were cruising along at maybe 20,000 feet. Military jets topped out around 40,000. The U-2 was soaring at over 60,000 feet. It was just up there in a league of its own. And right there, that's where the first seeds of the UFO story were planted. But they didn't stop there. Oh no. After the U-2 came its successor, the A-12 Oxcart. This thing was a ghost. We're talking speeds over 2,000 miles per hour. That is literally faster than a bullet fired from a rifle. It flew at the very edge of space and looked like absolutely nothing anyone had ever seen before. And that totally bizarre design had an interesting side effect. I want you to picture it. You're an airline pilot in the 1960s, flying your route over Nevada as the sun's going down. You look up, and you see that. A wide titanium body streaking across the sky faster than a bullet, reflecting the setting sun. What on earth would you think you were seeing? Even the CIA later admitted, yeah, anyone would think UFO. The secrecy was so intense that they had to truck these planes across the country in these enormous canvas-wrapped containers. There's a great story from one of the transport engineers. 2 kids on bikes rode up to his massive, mysterious crate and asked, "Hey, mister, what's in the box?" And without missing a beat, he just smiled and said, "A flying saucer." Even the guys building it knew how otherworldly this stuff was. But Area 51 wasn't just for building America's own futuristic planes. It was also a secret garage for taking apart the other guy's tech.
During the Cold War, the US managed to secretly get its hands on Soviet MiG fighter jets. They'd fly them out to the desert and have our best pilots go up against them in mock dogfights, all to learn their secrets and figure out how to beat them. And then came the real game changer. In the late 70s, a new project called Have Blue started testing a prototype that looked like it flew straight out of a science fiction movie. It was this bizarre, angular shape. This was the birth of the F-117 Nighthawk, the world's first operational stealth aircraft, a plane designed to be invisible to radar. A secret that big could only be tested in the most secret place on Earth.
Okay, let's recap. We have spy planes at the edge of space, jets faster than bullets, and invisible fighters. All real, all declassified history. Which brings us back to the million-dollar question. With all this incredible, real-life, secret stuff going on, where did the aliens come from? While it's pretty simple, nature abhors a vacuum. And the government's total wall of silence created the biggest information vacuum you can imagine. And what rushed in to fill that void? All the stories you know and love. The crashed saucer from Roswell being pieced back together, reverse-engineered alien tech, secret treaties with extraterrestrials. The less the officials said, the wilder the speculation became. But now we can finally connect the dots. Think about those earliest UFO reports from airline pilots. What did they consistently describe? Fiery objects, moving at impossible speeds at an unbelievable altitude. And what was flying in the Nevada sky at that exact time? The U-2. Its silver wings, miles above any other plane, would catch the setting sun and glow like a fiery object. The pilots weren't making it up. They were accurately describing something their minds just couldn't process at the time. Top secret technology. So now that we've kind of demystified the legend, let's zoom back out. We've seen that the extreme secrecy at Area 51 had a very clear, very logical purpose. But how does that fit into our bigger picture of a planet with all these different forbidden zones? This is how it all ties together. See, Area 51 was restricted for national security to protect groundbreaking technology that gave one country a massive strategic edge. But in Brazil, a place like the Valley do Javari is restricted for cultural preservation, acting as a shield for indigenous tribes. And then you have Surtsey Island in Iceland, which is off-limits for pure scientific observation, creating a perfect, untouched laboratory for scientists to study how life begins. So, in the end, secrecy isn't just one thing. A place being forbidden doesn't automatically mean something sinister is going on. Sometimes it's about protecting cutting-edge tech. Other times it's about preserving unique cultures. And sometimes it's about safeguarding priceless natural laboratories from us. And that really brings us to one last thought. The story of Area 51 shows us exactly why huge secrets were kept in the 20th century. But in our modern age, with satellites that can see everything and information that spreads around the globe in a second, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What secrets today are still truly worth keeping?